Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to have two wars together. It's going to be wars 9 and 10. The 10th one is just about set to be finished, but the result is clear, and man, it was a nail-biter. However, in war 9, it is an awful war for me personally and for our alliance in general, because we did end up losing this one. I only had 2 fights, hence there was no solo upload, because there's only like maybe a minute of a total fight time. Or minute and a half. We were going up against XK9. I think they are currently in the 2nd place as well, so definitely they were playing very, very well. But I think both of the alliances had a fairly bad war, because the score there ended up being 6-7. We ended up losing. We would have lost by time as well, so even if it was 6-6, we would have lost that one on time. And yeah, what's more embarrassing is that I only had 2 fights, because I had stuff going on in my life, and I screwed up the 2nd fight. It's one of those placements that we can't really practice duel for that fight, and it has been catching our alliance this season quite a bit as well. But still, it's just a silly mistake that, you know, kind of cascaded there as well. So the first fight is against Jacobkanda, and I'm going to be using Magik House of X pre-fight for this fight. So it's going to be a very, very simple fight. Now, it has combat deja vu prowess. Obviously, that is helpful to Nimrod, because I can kind of ramp up somewhat quicker, but I don't even need to do that. As you can see, I'm going to use my special 2 without entering the eradicate protocol, and 1 level 2 is going to be all it takes for this fight. And now the plan for this next fight I had was to try and get it done as soon as possible. I had never done this fight before, and realize the problem here. So I chose to go with Power Start 1 with the mission of getting to my level 2 as quickly as possible and nuking down the kitty. However, that is definitely something you can't do here. And this is one of those things that I want to explain, that it's not really easy to duel practice for this fight, because obviously fighting against Kitty Pride with Nimrod is always super easy. You know, no stress, no worries there. You just go in there and nuke down the kitty, right? Be super aggressive, nullify her prowess, everything's good. So I'm using the House of X pre-fight here, and we're going to see that the first mistake here would have been, we're going to see in a second, we can see my power is not gaining at all here in this case. And I wanted to get to 10 charges and drop my special attack. However, the first mistake was triggering Dex. And that triggered Mystic Dispersion, which I should have known better about, but immediately, basically, that first mistake got me down to 40% of the health. So at this point, I was aware that Mystic Dispersion is on the cooldown. I have already made a mistake, but unfortunately, I lost all my power. And with that, I realized I'm not going to be entering that Eradicate protocol either. Now, I do have Odin's pre-fight in this fight, so I'm not really taking much shock damage. That's not what I'm worried about. But within all of this chaos, I didn't notice the bubble shield was at 10 charges. And that unblockable, again, the first hit there, crit. And it was just a nasty fight with, you know, not the greatest gameplay at all. Just in this fight, and obviously once my armor ups start expiring, then that's more debuffs that more buffs that end, and Mystic Dispersion is re-triggered. And it was just such an annoying death here. But 100% on me, nothing to do with game, nothing to do with the matchup, because I ended up going back in, and I immediately knew what I did wrong. Well, first of all, I needed the Indestructible 3 boost instead of Power Start 1 boost, so I activate that one to make sure nothing goes wrong. Reread the nodes. Still couldn't quite figure out why I was gaining absolutely no power there, but fine. And right now, the gameplay is different. Just stay in the Blitz protocol, be super aggressive, don't try to do virtually anything, block everything. Only thing to pay attention to is the bubble shield. And then once your armor ups start expiring, obviously, be aware of Mystic Dispersion. And that is how to do this fight. Now, I'm very confident if next time I have to do this fight, I could do it fairly straightforward, fairly easily. You don't need to do any dancing around. You just need to keep Kitty in her corner, bait out the level 2s, keep an eye on bubble shield first and foremost. Do not ever kind of like try to dex in that fight. Or if you do, immediately, obviously, focus on the Mystic Dispersion, then after that point. Again, too little, too late to figure that fight out. And again, we ended up losing this war. We did really not have the best war in general. And the only kind of like small consolation is even if I hadn't died in this one, there would have been 6-6 and we would have lost on time. But you know, that's a shitty excuse. It's just a feels bad type of thing. However, now this next war we have against TCN, another very strong alliance. And we need to play better, we need to do better. So this war is still technically happening, but we just finished clearing our map, so I'm confident posting this here. In section 1, I am on path 2. I have done this fight plenty of times in past, specifically as well with Nimrod up against Weapon X. So I'm going to boost up with, you know, the biggest boost that I have, which actually is a problem because I'm out of the 30% champion boost. So I'm going to need to figure something out here. I will either need to, we'll see. I really don't want to buy those Alliance bundles for boost, but we'll see. Maybe I have to. I'm definitely going to try popping some Alliance boost crystals. Maybe I can get lucky there slightly. But we'll see what happens. So I do activate Indestructible 3 just to be safe, because this is a razor sharp close war. You guys don't even know how close this war is. I'm going to explain it in the end. But again, here, I don't even really care about that strike counter, to be honest. I kind of, for most part, you know, I did play around it perfectly, but he didn't gain any Furies. But that's not even a really important thing here. The most important thing is just, you know, get him to the 25 to activate his Berserk mode, wait out the Unstoppable, and then just be in the Blitz protocol or Eradicate protocol to get rid of all the regions, and the fight's over. It's fairly straightforward. Now we're going to be going up against Terax here. And I actually see that Terax is cheekily good placement here because of that Power Focus 1. Whenever he's going to be under 1 bar of power, whenever you strike him, he's going to be gaining a ton of power. But that can also be somewhat helpful in a few situations here. So this time started out with medium. I'm going to drop my heavy. Now I'm going to let him run out of power, because why not, in order not to take any more damage. Not that I need CGR for more fights. I do have Cosmic Power Boost active. Get to my level 2. And that's enough to push me to level 3 and the fight's over. It is a cheeky placement, but obviously whenever the CGR nuke machine kind of works, then it kind of nullifies all that cool and interesting interactions that they have on defense when you can just nuke them. When your job is to get to level 2, you know, it's not that bad most of the time. Then I'm quickly rushing here on path 7 against this Spite Rise to Power Sauron, but it's Sauron. I still have my Indestructible 3 boost active, so there's that happening. And obviously the job here is just get into the Blitz protocol and nullify the promises, nullify the regents, and he's getting absolutely toasted because he activated Special Attack and Blitz protocol. That power gain is keeping Spite in check as well, as you can see. Now I have activated Eradicate protocol as well. I'm actually going to get caught on a dash back here. You know, I thought I dashed back, maybe I didn't, but Indestructible 3 boost absorbs all the damage there. But now I have Energize active, I'm in Eradicate protocol. That poor little Sauron has no chance. It does feel like some sort of weird form of animal cruelty or dinosaur cruelty whenever you use Nimrod against Saurons. Because, you know, virtually everything that Sauron is or he has in between his prowess and regions, Nimrod just kind of like takes away and beats him in the face with it in a form of a shock conversion. So it definitely does feel quite a cruel matchup. And now this is going to be the cool thing. So, as you guys can see, I have Magik on my team. And obviously it's a 5-star Magik since you don't have 6-star Magik in a game. And I'm not going to lie, that fact alone did kind of stress me out a bit. Because when you play with Nimrod, you're used to playing in a manner where, oh, okay, dashback didn't work, I get hit in the face. Look at me, I lost 3% health or, you know, 10% health. And you always keep that in mind. Even when you use like CGR or other 6-star rank 3s or rank 4 champions, you can make a mistake or two. You're probably going to be fine. Now, when you bring in a 5-star against 6-star rank 3 that's boosted up, you have a completely different feeling. There's a completely different level of confidence. You just keep thinking about, if I slip up, if I get parried, if a dex doesn't work, if something happens, I'm KO'd. So it immediately adds to the nerves. But I did boost up, obviously, as you should with Magik, the best I can. 200% Mystic boost, 12% special attack damage boost. But I also run max recoil and half of I run double edge. not Liquid Courage, not to mess with Magik's Limbo. So you can see the start of bleed, but I also have max recoil, which is kind of like the fun thing here. So you guys can see that I'm taking quite a lot of recoil damage. But obviously, thanks to that, my special attacks hit harder and I get back more power. So that makes using Magik significantly easier. And also the fact that I have max recoil, every time I use a special attack actually lets me regenerate at the very least 1.5% of my health, which is quite awesome, which is one of the coolest interactions in a game that, I haven't benefited from in a while because I have never been using this half Liquid Courage double edge setup, only using double edge. But you can see that Magik absolutely wrecked that. That was super easy, controlled fight, and it just reminds you how powerful Magik is. Man, I want the 6-star Magik added to the game so badly. She's so good. Such a good champion. Simple, but super effective. And the real reason why I did have Magik was this Mangog. Now, this Mangog is a one tricky bastard. We died to him, I think, in the last war as well, and he has gotten his skills and stuff like that. And you can use Spidey 99, and most of the time everything's gonna go great. But with the AI being kind of messed up, that fight has become significantly riskier. And our officers decided that, a 5-star Magik here is going to be the best solution. Maybe it is, but it's definitely, again, a very high stress fight. Because, if you make a mistake, kind of screwed. Additional side note, for this fight and last one, I actually had switched off dexterity. So I have absolutely no chance of ever triggering Mystic Dispersion. So there's no dexterity and max recoil. So this is one of those specialized mastery setup fights. So I can't dex anything. I'm always making sure not to do a 5-hit combo so he doesn't get extra charges. And obviously we're trying to maintain the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights active here. And max recoil also coming in clutch. We can see that when I parry, I take 2% damage to my health. Again, luckily, Limbo kind of lets me regenerate that, and I'm actually going to finish with 100% health thanks to max recoil and Limbo. And in this point, the fight's solid. So again, I have max recoil, and max recoil gives you 60% increased special attack damage. I have, double edge max, that's another 30% attack. And we're putting in work. We're going to town here slowly but surely. Obviously, Magik isn't the quickest fight finisher, but the level of control, again, is just absolutely insane here. Every time I use special attack, I get about a bar of power back, which, again, if I didn't have max recoil, wouldn't be as much. And here's the fight. Very smooth, luckily. 97 hits, 1 minute and 19. Very happy with this fight because nothing unexpected happened. But again, when you do a fight where Mangog, of all champions, do 2% of your total HP through a parry, it is quite stressful using these 5 stars against the bigger Gogs. Still, quite happy with this fight. And one second, I actually want to double check. Yeah, it's a rank 3 Mangog, 276 health. Right, and then at the end, against this one, we did end up winning this one by 1. And again, losing on time. So 1 death would have meant we lose this war. At the same time, the guy doing our boss fight, and boss was Wong, finished the fight with like 1% health. Or, I don't know, 10 HP to be specific. So we quite literally won this war with like 10 HP, with 1% health. And I was watching that boss fight video, and oh my god. And also the fact that had that not been a solo, we would lose this one. Man, that was quite literally as close as you can get. 1 hit on the block would have changed outcome of this war. Oh man. So at the moment, I think we are 5th globally. We have 3 wars remaining, so we'll see where we finish out the season. We're probably going to be at the very least in top 10 Masters. Top 3 is going to be tricky because of our screw up against XK9. Had we won that war, we would be kind of like solidly in 2nd or 3rd at the moment. But, it's part of the Alliance Wars. See, stuff like that happens. And, yeah, so, man, this was such a stressful war. But I hope that makes you enjoy the video slightly more. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the other good buttons. I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next